Yeah. Hey. Welcome to Fantasy Sports Addicts Anonymous. My name is Tom. I am a fantasy sports addict. And today is the 2019 Major League Baseball trade deadline. We have a little bit of a trade deadline show for you today. Sorry for the rough, late start. But we're good. We're here. We're ready to talk baseball. I am joined, of course, by my good buddy Andrew from Fantasy Aid. How's it going, Andrew?
Pretty good.
You excited about this trade deadline?
In general, for baseball, yes. For the Cardinals, no.
Okay, you're not expecting much for the Cardinals?
Nah.
Okay, well, I mean, as a D-backs half fan, what can you say, right? Move your shit and get some shit. But, let's just jump right into it. We don't want to waste time because a lot of this is going to be backfill and just recapping what's already happened. But, jump in if you want. If you're watching this live, go ahead, hit the comments. If you got questions or you want to discuss something, go right ahead. Feel free. And we'll cover that. And the first thing, I guess this is the first official of the trade deadline deals. Bauer with a three-way. Yeah, three-way. No, it was Indians, Reds, and Padres, right?
Yeah.
This happened last night, or yesterday afternoon, essentially, and there was a huge brawl in the middle of the game, and players are going to get suspended. Players that were traded are going to get suspended. We had Puig. It was pretty slap-roony. The way I understand this is that, correct me if I'm incorrect here, Andrew. Franmil Reyes from the Padres, and Yasiel Puig from the Reds, plus Logan Allen. Those three players are headed to the Indians, if I'm correct, right?
Yep.
And then, of course, Bauer goes to the Reds, which is like, I don't know. I mean, he's been bounced around a bit. He's a fun player. Say what you will about the guy. He's interesting. I don't think his ownership or management has ever really taken to him, but I think that's a two-way street. But aside from that, also the Padres, their real haul in this deal was Taylor Trammell.
Yeah.
And what do you feel about that? This is the most blockbustery of all the blockbuster type trades so far. There's not really been that many. What do you think? I mean, how do you feel about this particular trade? Did somebody get hosed here? Because I'm a little worried.
I don't know if anyone got hosed. I think it doesn't make sense, especially for the Cincinnati Reds. I mean, they don't need Bauer. They're not going anywhere this season. And they gave up one of their top prospects to get a pitcher when they're not going to make the playoffs. I mean, it made sense for Cleveland. Cleveland's got two solid outfields. I'm really interested to see what Franmil Reyes can do in the AL.
Yeah, Franmil in that park should be interesting.
And the Padres got a top prospect, so that makes sense for them. I don't get why Cincinnati wanted to do it.
Yeah, Cincinnati, I think it's not that, again, they got the big name, right? They got the headliner of the deal, but at the same time, it's sort of one of those why moves. Like, why now? What are you doing? Now, the one thing that makes sense to me about it is, correct me here if I'm wrong. I'm going to ask you to do that a lot throughout this show, but I'm just kind of going off the top of my head. Bauer has what? After this season, 1 year remaining on his deal?
Yeah, he's a free agent in 2021.
Okay, so that sounds like trade fodder next season. I mean, the Reds could be in the mix. I mean, we've been talking Cubs, Brewers, Cardinals a lot, just amongst our, the addicts. Begging my pardons. You're, of course, Cardinals fan. Mm-hmm. We got two Cubs fans, and so the conversation is just run differentials within the National League Central and all this. It's a pretty well matched division. Kind of entertaining to watch in that regard. But the Reds, excuse me, like to get over the Brewers, who seem to be very aggressive, or at least willing to be aggressive, to get past the Cubs, who are slapdicking around for pennies on the dollar for some reason. And then, of course, the Cardinals. That's a tall order. I don't see them running away with any divisions, especially that particular division this year or next. I mean, it's just not going to happen.
Right.
Sorry. Like, even wild card, like you pumped your nuts for a wild card spot that you're just going to get eliminated from. Like, yeah, I don't buy that. But if anything, you got good trade value for next season. I mean, can you imagine? All right, so if the Indians got that haul for Trevor Bauer, what do the Reds are probably like, well, what can we get next season when, like, somebody's back in the mix and we can catch in.
But he won't be worth as much because he won't have an additional year. So
Right. But you could still, I mean, think about, like, what was it, 2016? Yeah. Cubs gave up a absolute boatload to get Chapman. So stranger things have happened. All right. So that, that's probably the most interesting trade that's happened thus far. Just generally speaking, most of the trades have been bullpen pieces.
yeah,
we can just kind of breeze through them. Obviously, there was the Stroman deal, like, yeah. And then, of course, the Mets have pulled Syndergaard off the market, resultingly. Are you surprised by that at all? Like, I was hoping he would get traded, but I can't say I'm surprised.
I didn't believe. I mean, if he got traded, I mean, I know Mets fans are already up in arms, but they probably stormed the stadium if Syndergaard got traded.
What are you doing? Meet the mess. Yeah, I mean, they're the Mets. All right, so this morning it started with, I believe Nate Jones was the first, and he's still injured, isn't he?
I believe he has pitched this year. I don't know if he's on it right now, but he has pitched this year. Not much, but he has.
Okay, so yeah, it looks like he did get, okay, so I think he is still injured, but so he's a lot older than I remember too. So it was basically for international money. The White Sox are, they're not doing anything. So Nate Jones, adios. Makes sense. Going to the Rangers.
You wouldn't think Texas is doing anything, but they're not exactly. I wouldn't exactly call them buyers, but they're not selling, and they went out and got Nate Jones.
Yeah. I mean, they didn't give up much. The minor league players, Joe Jarneski and Ray Castro.
Yeah.
That was about international money. That was just, like, again, a dollar swap, just warm body for a warm body. Let's see. More bullpen talk. There's a lot of bullpen stuff. I mean, here's another one that was kind of big, not really. But Jake Faria going from Tampa Bay to the Brew Crew for Jesus Aguilar. And Aguilar, everybody's like, who's Jesus Aguilar? Well, that's the first baseman that you drafted probably 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th round, and then dropped him, and you're like, oh, yeah, wait, that guy was good last year, and he's been terrible this year. Exactly.
Yeah.
Aguilar, first base, kind of makes sense for the Rays, but at the same time, also not.
I mean, they had G-Man Choi and Nate Lowe for first base. One of those guys is probably G-Man Choi might see his playing time dwindle.
Yeah, obviously G-Man Choi. Now, again, why not? What are you doing, baby? You gotta turn loose your low. You gotta get low and slow. I don't know why they just didn't, like, all right, Nate Lowe, here you go. But like, you go get a bat, I guess. I'm not. I dropped. I had Jesus Aguilar in all the dynasty leagues and dropped them. He was like a nice flash in the pan one season guy. I mean, maybe he comes out with a little more gusto on a new team, but really, again, just more like for Brewers getting Faria. Not bad. That's actually, like, useful. So now Shaw can play first in Milwaukee. Here's a little Cubby Cubs deal. Martin Maldonado going to the Astros. You know, like, oh, we don't need another catcher. Adios. Real no brainer there.
They had him for like 3 weeks before trading him again.
And then, you know, Tony Kemp, like, well, he's not worse than Almora at the plate.
No.
I mean, if you're a Cubs fan, this is definitely a frustrating trade deadline for you. But, yeah, let's see. Okay, so I'm gonna think of any other. Well, let's see. More bullpen here. Nationals. All right, the Nationals have been really aggressive making bullpen moves here. They have acquired, I believe, three relief pitchers today. The first of which was Daniel Hudson, and they sent Kyle Johnston, pretty much a unspectacular minor league player, to Toronto. Now Huddy, I miss Huddy in Arizona. He was very fan friendly. He was one of those kind of fan favorites. He's always been able to get the strikeouts. Like his numbers aren't, you know, like great the last few seasons, but he's had just a slew of injuries since God. I mean, we're going back. I mean, a lot of years now. I was like 6. He had 2 Tommy Johns. I mean, but like this year, all right. This year, you're like, okay, all right. You know, like solid ERA. Like he's getting you some strikeouts, and so that's nice for the Nationals. All right, we shored up our bullpen, who had the worst ERA in baseball.
Yeah, pretty ugly. See, they had Sean Doolittle and nobody else.
Yeah. I mean, what was their bullpen ERA? It's like something in the 5s right now, like 5.38 or I don't know. Don't quote me on it, but okay, and then of course the rumors came out, big trade brewing for the Brew Crew. They ended up with Drew Pomeranz, and Ray Black for Mauricio Dubon, which is, you know, it's pretty nice prospect there going back. So Giants kind of, I think, maybe sort of kind of won that deal. Like just again, bye Pom, and
yeah, I mean Drew Pomeranz is nothing special, and I guess they're
Black,
not gonna sell. They're not gonna sell Bumgarner or Smith. So
that's what
they're going for the wild card.
Yeah, and then again, that's why one of these teams in the National League West, the Diamondbacks or the Giants, one of them needs to shit or get off the pot, and the other needs to respond accordingly. We'll see what happens. Right now, it's just like, hey, we're 500 type teams. Look at us. Here we go. The other relief pitcher that makes pretty good sense here for the Nationals, they got Hunter Strickland. He's been back, I think, all of 2 games for Seattle.
Yeah, he'd been a while.
So he was out quite a while. I mean, he went into the IL with like an 8 ERA. You're like, what the hell's wrong with this? Oh, right. He's injured. You know, so now you got Strickland going to me, a better environment, I think. I mean, more competitive division. I don't know. I like Hunter Strickland quite a bit. But yeah, that's Seattle again, maximizing their assets, like, you know,
right. Whatever they have left.
Yeah, just trading bullpen to get whatever they can get. So they got Aaron Fletcher going to Seattle. So, you know, whatever. Get rid of whatever you can and make something out of it. And of course, Rowan S. Elias, you know, hey, that's like a triple down, like, hey now, bullpen, yeah. Hey now, right? I mean, that's a nice little trio of bullpen arms. I mean, they're not cleaning out the market per se, but
getting a lot of the mid-level guys.
Yeah, that's something you're kind of like, all right, okay, baby, I like it. So, you know, you got to kind of go with that. That's not, you know, I don't think that puts them over the top for any kind of anything, but you never know.
Especially with the moves the Braves did, because the Braves also added bullpen.
Yeah. Here's a move I really like. Just on the surface of it, Roark.
Yeah.
Right. Roark going to the Athletics. Okay, so that's pretty nice. Cincinnati's kind of making moves. They're setting up for something. They've got a plan, obviously.
Right. I think Roark is gonna. He could be a good fantasy asset down the line. He's getting
Oh
out of
yeah,
the Great American Ballpark. Going to Oakland. So
yeah. Honestly, I mean that's pretty nice switch up. I like that. I don't have any Roark shares, but just generally speak, it's probably more of a baseball thing than a fantasy baseball thing, but
yeah,
and of course, Cincinnati's return on that was minor league outfielder Jamison Hanna. Again, not somebody you're really paying attention to at the moment. All right, now here's my favorite deal so far. Okay, this one I like. Okay, all right, here we go. Okay, Diamondbacks get rid of the buckets of jizz, the jism, Jazz Chisholm, Jazz Chisholm, Skeet Skeet. He's out of here. Him and his 30% strikeout rate, plus 30% strikeout rate, I should say. He's out of here for Zach Gallen or Galen. I suck at pronunciations. My bad. From the Marlins. What do you think about that? Just on the surface.
I have to admit I'm not too familiar with the Arizona guy.
Okay.
But it just seems like a decent move for the Diamondbacks. They've always struggled at the back end of their rotation.
Well, I was gonna say the thing about that, like on paper right now, if we don't trade Greinke and Ray, which they better.
I mean, they got 3 minutes to do it, so.
Yeah, we're coming up on the deadline. We'll try to get caught up here and keep you up to date, but I'm sure it's all going to come in after the whistle, and it's going to be like, oh, a whole bunch of things to talk about. But I like this. Theoretically, our rotation's pretty solid, 4 deep. But getting rid of high power, low on base percentage, high strikeouts, shortstop. When we've already got shortstop pretty much covered, our middle infield's just fine for a couple of years. Move your high powered guy who can't otherwise hit his way out of a paper bag for decent pitching. I mean, that's pretty nice. Thank you, Miami. But of course, Miami's got like pitchers like literally like falling out the window, So let's see. It's too small of a move to talk about. C-Dick run. He went to Phillies.
Yeah, that was interesting. I would assume he has to cut into Jay Bruce's time. I think Bruce. Yeah, is Bruce entered right now? I think he is.
I believe he is.
But yeah, you'd have to think they'd start Dickerson over Bruce.
Well, and that gives them, again, just a little bit more depth, a little bit like, all right.
Yeah, and they actually 7 minutes ago they DFA'd Dylan Cousins to make room for.
Okay. All right, makes sense. There you go. So C-Dick now a Philly. Jed Jerko went from your Cardinals to the Dodgers.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, we don't need Jed Jerko. Tommy Edmonds emerged. He's got speed. He's good contact. He can play over the infield. So it made Jerko irrelevant. But then again, even though I'm not too optimistic about the Cardinals' chances in the playoffs, they do have a pretty good shot at making it. And you're giving a possible person you're going to play in the playoffs, a player that they need. So I kind of mixed on it.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, again, you're not Jerko. He's a jerk ass. All right. So excuse me. Okay, here we go. Braves. Yeah, okay. I'm reading two things at once. The Braves got Shane Green from Detroit. That's nice.
Yeah, I mean, he's outside of the Will Smith or something. He probably was one of the top guys to be traded.
Yeah, so that's a nice little piece for Atlanta. I kind of like Atlanta. I'm not gonna lie. And then, all right, here's a guy I like, but this doesn't really move the needle in any regard. John Ryan Murphy going to the Braves. Again, I like the Braves. John Ryan Murphy's just kind of a fan guy here for Arizona, but nothing you're writing home about anyways. Melanson, again, going to the Braves. So I'm not sure what the Giants Okay, okay. Tristan Beck and Dan Winkler are going to the Giants for Melanson.
Was
Okay, so
Tristan Beck? Was he? Oh no, I'm thinking of Austin Beck. I think. I was
yeah,
saying. I think he was a former top prospect. I'm thinking about that guy.
okay. So right now we're just waiting for the deadline deals. Like it is 1 minute past the deadline, and we're just waiting to see if, when, possibly anything. Uh, sounds like Granke was pulled from the game. If I'm reading this correctly, yes, Granke is pulled from the game or was pulled from the game. I don't know what that means. I don't know if that
What was
means
it?
anything.
You know what is like pitch count or what anything
Well,
was?
the game started like 2 hours ago, so he might have just been pulled from the game or something. Like he might have just been pulled. I don't know. You know what I mean? When you're under hug watch, it's hard to tell sometimes. Like, is the guy just getting a day of rest, or is he, pulled out for other reasons? Right? Uh, we'll see here. I had nothing announced that I'm aware of, so I'm scanning local news,
Right.
trying to get the local
This
impression.
I don't recognize him. You might. John Gambadoro.
Yeah, John
Yeah,
Gambadoro.
he tweeted 4 minutes ago that he doesn't believe the Diamondbacks are done trading. So if they might, I don't know if they got a deal within that 4 minutes, but
Okay, so if there's a little something. They might have snuck something in. If Crank Dog's on his way out, we'll see. I got my ESPN fired up. I got my Twitter fired up. I got my phone fired up. I got every resource available to me.
Felipe Vasquez was not traded, so he's
Okay.
still hired.
All right. So definitely not traded. Felipe Vasquez. Um, anything new? Anything new? Marlins are said to have another trade in the works or another trade to be announced. Um,
Nick
sounds like
Castellanos entered the Tigers dugout in uniform, so it looks like Castellanos isn't going anywhere.
yeah, Nikki C sounds like he's staying put. Sorry, Cubs fans. Sorry, Nate Dogg especially. That's a bummer, man. Sounds like Wheeler ain't going anywhere. I'd like to know if there is something with. Sounds like all right. Kirby Yates stays Padres. Sounds like he's to be extended if he's not. If he wasn't traded in that sense, so he's not traded. Sounds like the Padres are going to try to extend Kirby Yates, which kind of a no-brainer there for them. I mean, he gives like Winginter or whatever the dude's name is, and just a lot of those guys, just a little bit of a presence and kind of like this is how
Yeah,
you do it. And again, just like they're going to be in competition pretty damn soon, so I like
yeah.
that. Okay, here's an interesting tweet that I'll share here. Bernie Pleskoff. I don't know if most of you know who he is. Um, he's from Clubhouse Corner, and he's a former scout for the Astros and the Mariners, all that. He is talking here about how it's a Dan O'Dowd discussion. Major League Baseball is now an industry that doesn't like to take risks. It's a very interesting and telling comment, says Bernie Pleskoff. Now, yeah, I mean, you got to think if there's not any sort of like real I mean, there should be a screamer, something at the end here where it's like, all right, it's a late announcement. We're going to stick with you here for at least another half hour, try to get you as much information as we can about who gets traded and who's still around. But sounds like overall fairly uneventful trade deadline.
Right.
Now if Granke's pulled. I'm not seeing anything that would indicate a Granke trade other than Gambadoro saying the Diamondbacks aren't done. But they got to be done by now, so it'd be great if Granke and Ray were both out the door.
Apparently, the return for Shane Green came out. Joey Wentz, Travis. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce Demarai. I don't know how to pronounce that last name.
Hmm.
I don't know. Wentz, he was good when he was with Tampa. It's just Brandon Lau took over at second base.
Well,
He's good.
all right, so he's low. There's Lau and low. He's
Yeah,
low. Yeah. Again, I try to correct the pronunciation or keep it correct when I can, but it's tough to do. I mean, come on. When there's a guy who's spelled low and everybody else that's in Tampa Bay's minor league
Well,
system is low, why is it Lau? What? Like
I don't know. But actually, a trade with the Marlins in Tampa just went down. Uh,
really?
Ryan Stanek and Jesus Sanchez, and Jesus Sanchez is one of the top prospects for Tampa.
Yeah.
For Nick Anderson and Trevor Richards.
Okay. Okay.
So Tampa got a starter in Richards. I'm not familiar with Nick Anderson off the top of my head, but I like Jesus Sanchez. I have him
Yeah.
on dynasty teams. Like he's a good
Man,
prospect.
that's dude, I'm holding my Jesus Sanchez shares. Like I think I gave you the one you're talking about maybe
Yeah.
earlier in the year when we made a deal, but like yeah, everywhere else I have them, I'm like hanging on tight because I like, just the power profile, but um let me take a look and see if I can sift through anything here. Bear with us. We recapped in the beginning and now we're trying to get you the breaking news.
Okay.
Oh, of course. Of course there was a lineup change after I set my lineups. You. Yeah, it's a good thing the Braves traded for Shane Green because I'm looking at a 99 ERA here from Lucas Jackson. Thank you so much, Cool Hand Puke. You better still get me holds. This is a saves hold league, so we're not totally trashed here, but
Yeah, that's why I hadn't heard of Nick Anderson. He's just a reliever. 3.92 ERA this year, which isn't bad, but I don't
right.
know if that return. I mean, Trevor Richards has had a decent season, but I
Yeah.
mean, Ryan Stanek was their opener, and they're just trading him for another reliever and then a starter.
Yeah, that's kind of all right. So it looks like Ranky made it. Okay, 5 innings. So, and that's, 5 inning, 82 pitches. Yeah, I'm guessing he's pulled for a trade that hasn't been announced or is being finalized. It's like in place, but you know what I mean? 5 innings, 82 pitches. That just doesn't seem, unless, again, Granke's body language is always what you pay attention to. Um, Oh, it was rain delay. Okay, that's nothing then. That's
Uh,
nothing. Yeah, never mind. Thank you, Pete, for throwing that out there. Appreciate it, buddy. That's Pepsi Pete, everybody. Well, so there we go. Pete making the obvious known. No Granky trade. Right now, it seems like a fairly innocuous trade deadline show here. Fairly innocuous trade deadline generally. I mean,
yeah.
if this is really all that's it, like that's kind of weak sauce. Cubby had an interesting idea, which was basically push back the deadline by, a week, maybe 2 weeks kind of thing. Just push it back a ways because, right, that gives the 500-ish teams a little bit more time coming out of the All-Star break to make a decision about what direction they want to take. Right
Right.
now, a team that I expected to be selling, the Diamondbacks, essentially just got better. So am I, you know what I mean? But as a fan, I'm like, okay, so am I like rooting for a playoff situation or
Right, like in the
not?
past, before two wild cards, a lot of teams would have known they're out already. But with two wild
Right.
cards, a lot of teams are like, "Oh, can we get that second wild card spot?"
Yeah, like are we a wild, but then you have to think past that because that's one damn game. And like, all right, yeah, we
Oh,
might.
Mike Leake is heading to the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Wow. Mike Leake to the Diamondbacks. Interesting. I like it. Hey, come on home, baby.
He'll get you quality starts. He's not going to
Yeah,
pitch.
that's our fifth starter
Yeah,
right there, baby. Love
yeah,
it.
that's a good fifth starter.
Sounds like Aaron Sanchez may be going to the Astros. Again, all of these are yet to be completely finalized. We'll keep you
Nick Castellanos is no longer in the Tigers dugout, and Jody Mercer has taken his place.
okay. So maybe Nikki C is on the move.
Possibly. I'd be interested
Okay.
to see what the Diamondbacks traded for Leake because I mean, that's not the biggest move ever, but at least had a solid season.
Yeah, yeah. But that's an interesting rotation. I mean, 5 deep now instead of a bunch of like minor leaguers. I mean, we've been running minor leaguers, 3 or 4 guys, Merrill Kelly's and Alex. And I'm trying to think of like, you know what I mean? Like just guys that are like, yeah, I mean, of all of them, Kelly, I guess, is kind of the takeaway, but we had Duplantier out there for a bit. I don't think he's ready. I think the
Castellanos
Diamondbacks.
to the Cubs.
There we go. There you go, Nate. Yeah. There's your trade. All right. Nate gets his Nicky C. There you go. There you go. Yeah, it did.
Yeah, that's interesting. So I might not play today, but I might see them tomorrow because they're playing the Cardinals right now. Where are they gonna play him?
Nicky C.
Yeah,
Anywhere that's not. I mean, honestly, just replace Almora. Like just
I know, but
anywhere.
Almora's a center fielder. I mean, I guess they can move Hayward over to center
Well,
field.
haven't they had Bryant playing center?
I think he's played some, but he's more of a corner outfield guy.
I
Hayward
mean,
center field, I guess. But Castellanos, I just know Castellanos is not the best defender.
yeah, they must be going now. So what does that do for Schwarber then?
Yeah, yeah.
Somebody's playing out of position. I'll tell you that much. You don't go after Nicky C if you're content with Hayward as a starter, right? Like if Hayward's your starter in center, I mean, which does make sense, right? But
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think of the 3, what would be starting outfielders for the Cubs, Cubby, Nate, correct me if I'm wrong on this. I think your most mobile player in this situation is Bryant playing center. I mean, you're not going to put Schwarber in center.
No, you can't.
You're not going to put Nicky C in center. And you're definitely not. I mean, I don't know. I mean, yeah, I think it's got to be Bryant that plays center. Unless I'm missing something. Somebody pop in with something on the chat if you got news that I don't know or if you got information that makes more sense. So all right, so some of this stuff is streaming in here. Aaron Sanchez and Biagini or Biagini, I don't know.
Yeah,
For Derek Fisher.
yeah, that makes sense. Fisher, he wasn't getting any time in Houston.
Yeah, clearing room. That Rays and Marlins trade is interesting.
It is. I don't understand the move. The Rays. I mean, I know they got another starter, but
yeah.
Not that.
So that's
whoa. Ken Rosenthal breaking. Astros get Greinke. 32 seconds ago.
Oh yeah. All right.
Astros get Greinke, Verlander, and Garrett Cole.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm loving this. Fucking yeah.
Wow.
Oh, this is beautiful. Yeah, thank you, Rosenthal, for that late breaker. Okay, so that's interesting though. What are we getting back? Because why did you go add a bunch? Now that would explain a bunch of the back of the rotation guys, but I don't know why you add to the starting pitching if you're trading. Like to me, that's like we're standing pat and we're gonna play for the wild card and hopefully make a little tiny noise in the playoffs.
Yeah, how much money is Arizona sending the Diamondbacks? You know, because that depends on how much what they're getting, it's how much they're paying.
Yeah, I need to know like what we're moving here because this is. I figured he was on his way out, but I gotta.
Does that make Houston World Series favorites?
To me, it doesn't hurt, but yeah, to me, Bernie Pleskoff says it makes them World Series favorites.
Yeah,
Verlander,
I
Cole,
think them better than
Greinke.
Dodgers.
You gotta love it. You gotta love that. So yeah, let's see where this goes. I want
Yeah,
to know. I want to know what we got back here because I would assume Forrest Whitley.
Whitley. Yeah, I don't think they give outfielder. What's his top? I don't think they give top Tucker. Diamondbacks are getting 4 prospects.
Ooh, if we get Tucker and Whitley, ooh, my, oh my. Let's see what we get here. Come on. We're all just waiting with bated breath.
That's probably like because Greinke is as good as Bauer, but Bauer went to a team that's not competing, so Greinke's
Yeah.
probably the B trade of the deadline.
Yeah, this now again, did the Diamondbacks pooch this? Now, like again, the 4 prospects we get back are most likely not what we want or not anything to like, tell your mom about because we may not have eaten salary. However, if we ate some salary or Houston was desperate, man, if it says 4 prospects, what I'm looking at too. So if we get and if we get so are they going to raise ticket prices again next season? I love that. That's another D-backs fan tweeting. Yeah.
So the Astros got Aaron Sanchez and Greinke for the rotation.
Yeah. So Sanchez, I would assume then what he's their 4th starter or 5th starter. What do you think?
Something like
5th
that.
starter.
But I mean, he's probably going to
Back
start
end.
getting a ton of spin on the ball, suddenly get all the strikeouts.
Yeah, it'd be like just this badass all of a sudden. Now, I mean, does Greinke somehow get better? That would be interesting.
Someone tweeted, "Why, yes, trading Paul Goldschmidt and Zach Greinke in less than a year does make me really want to root for this team. Thanks for asking."
Yep. Well, I mean, again, I think these are casual fans who are more likely to be like, well, our big names are gone. Anybody who really knows the Diamondbacks franchise.
Cal Tucker is not part of the deal.
Okay, so I'm hoping Forrest Whitley is at least. I mean, he's been pretty weak sauce in the minor leagues this year, but and I mean, hopefully little trip through fall league and the spring training invite and off we go.
Right.
Come on, come on, give me the news, baby. I gotta know who's been traded here.
The Dodgers got Adam Kolarek from the Rays. That's a lefty. So I
Okay,
guess
so that was
they can get Felipe Vasquez.
Yeah, that was the last little deadline deal. Okay, Giants to acquire Scooter Gennett.
Yeah, I just saw that too.
Twins get Sam Dyson. So
the Giants really bought more than. I mean, Jeanette's pretty good.
yeah. Bam. Let's see here. Hoping we can get some details on some of these trades.
Yeah, I keep refreshing Twitter like, is it there yet?
Yeah, we got any new news? New news, please.
Joe McCarthy is going to Tampa. That's the Matt Kolarek deal.
Okay, makes sense. Hugwatch 2019. I mean, let's see what the Diamondbacks get back here, but I don't think it's going to be as exciting as I'm dreaming.
Probably not.
But I mean, if we get beer and like, oh yeah, if we got beer,
he might be better than getting Whitley.
Yeah, but if we got beer and because again, just we need a replacement for Goldie, I mean, so we got Walker and Crone, but
right,
but a nice cold beer and yeah. Whitley. Let's see. Nikki C going again. A lot of these deals are just not coming out with details. So bear with us. We're going to be going live here for a little bit longer. If you want to ask some questions or just chime in on the live stream, live chat, go ahead and we'll try to answer them, give you a heads up about whatever's going on or what you got a question about. But again, appreciate those of you who have joined us. We got Pepsi Pete hanging out and a couple people watching just deadline, who got moved, who didn't get moved, and are we disappointed or are we happy here? It's a good question. How would you rate this overall trade deadline? I mean, we're still coming in with deals, so
I mean, it cranked up to 100 in the last 10 minutes.
yeah, it went all the way up there. I am surprised the Diamondbacks made all those other moves and then traded Greinke. But
Yeah.
what doesn't surprise me about that is the Diamondbacks are very content ownership-wise to be a 500 team. They're not inclined to like, whoa,
Yeah,
we went
have
all
that
in.
chance every year, but to not really get there kind of thing.
Well, again, they're still collecting league revenue for not having enough attendance, supposedly. They're making they don't need to fill a single seat in that stadium even for a single game. And they still make money. That's the way the ownership runs that franchise. And it's basically an investment piece for billionaires who are already wealthy and now they're getting wealthier, which is fine. But could they throw the fans a bone occasionally? I mean, it's been 15 years now. And we get dicked around with these like half-ass teams for so long, and then they go tinker and fuck it up and blow it up and ruin it. And
you had that. Is anyone left from that one good offseason when they signed Greinke?
Maybe a handful of the relief pitchers, or like maybe like Chafin, or. But yeah, I was gonna say everybody else is. No, I take that back. Let me back up. We still have Nick Ahmed. We still have what's his name? Guy that's
And
always
David
injured.
Peralta.
Yeah, Peralta. I mean, we still have him. So again, you never know. It's hard to remember you have him because he's always injured. And then you got perennial suck ass Yasmani Tomas. So I mean, there's like a few names that are still around.
Pretty sure you don't want Yasmani Tomas.
I don't want half of this team. All these people like I can't watch, and they traded it. No, they need to destroy. Because guess who? All right, so as the Dodgers, which the Dodgers window is not closing, but as their window closes, guess who steps in? The Padres. And then it might be wide open. But we're talking 5+ years of like, this is not your division. This is not the division to be like.
Just came out.
Okay,
Martin, Boustakis, Beer, and Rojas.
Okay, so refresh that.
There's no first names on any of that, so I only recognize Beer, but.
Okay, so at least we're getting a beer. They bought us a beer. I'll take that. Okay, so let's see.
That's from the Arizona radio guy.
Okay, Gambadoro.
Yeah.
What did Gambo say? We got beer.
Josh Rojas, Corbin Martin. I still don't know the first name of Buskasis, or how you pronounce his name.
Oh, is it? God, I think I know.
Wait, is it JB Bukas? JB?
That's what I'm wondering, but I don't know if it's. Yeah, we'll just call him Bukaki.
Yeah.
Bukaki. On my face.
I remember right. Corbin Martin's pretty decent as well.
Yeah, he's a pretty decent, highly regarded prospect, but the Tommy John. Now, that does kind of fit our window, though, so I don't mind that. I mean, again, they got a good arm, relatively speaking. Has a little bit of major league experience. Hopefully that kind of got his mouth watering, and, he's going to come back from this Tommy John.
Right.
Strong and be ready to kind of take over and get a role cemented, but mostly, right now, Beer is the most exciting name I'm thinking of.
Definitely.
But yeah, they dumped salary. I'm just glad that, that's a good spot for Greinke too. Houston's a big city. Greinke doesn't like small towns or something like that. I'm not sure why. But Houston, I don't know. It's hard to tell what Greinke likes. He's insane. Something's very wrong with him, but he's on his way, going somewhere where he can win. And I'm glad he's gone. I've never been a Greinke fan personally.
Yeah.
That goes
I will
back a
mention
ways.
that though. He's going to the AL.
Yeah, that I wasn't expecting, but again, from a fantasy perspective, you don't really miss a beat there. It's not like his nice ERA and WHIP are going to like totally blow up on you. I can't imagine that would happen in Houston, especially the fact that it is Houston. Houston seems to be the ratio car wash for starting pitching. Like all of a sudden you know how to throw the ball again, and like, oh, that's right. Don't throw down, and don't throw your fastball or that kind of thing down. Like you got to change eye level and go up with the fastball or whatever it is, right? Like Cubby and I talked about that all season long, and I think Greinke's gonna have no trouble with that, even with his reduced velocity.
No, and Greinke doesn't have to be the ace of the staff anymore. He can go back to like he was in LA. He was second to Clayton Kershaw.
Yeah. Again, it's not his spotlight necessarily, but he's part of it. Yeah, he's a nice little piece to get there. And when you think about it, I mean, that's like kind of getting a replacement for old man Charlie Morton. Like they lost Morton to the Rays in the offseason, so a little bit of that. Okay, Bryce Stanton, are we happy with the Greinke trade? Yep, I sure am. I am indeed discussing that now. Yeah, I like the haul. I'm good with that. He says he's not happy with it. I'm curious why.
Like, I mean, the only thing that hasn't come out yet is, I mean, and obviously it doesn't matter with the casual fan because you're not paying the contract, but how much is Arizona paying Greinke's contract?
Yeah. Okay, so he's just saying we had a known quantity. The guy, Greinke could have been good another couple of seasons, and now we're dealing with the unknown.
Yeah, he doesn't rely. He doesn't rely on fastball velocity, so he will be good for a couple seasons. But would that have made Arizona contender? Probably not.
I don't think it gets us any higher than we already are. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, so we're a 500 team or thereabout. We're a wild card team or thereabout. Overall, this is a move with the eye towards the future. So I'm happier with that, I think, than not, because after Greinke's gone, okay, so we get 2 good years out of Greinke. So, but maybe a couple of these pieces from the Astros pan out, and all of a sudden, like, we've got our own farm system, everything else is kind of coming together.
And you'd hope, because your 2 biggest contracts, I know Goldie had an underrated contract compared to what he was, but your 2 biggest contracts are off the books. You'd hope if they can develop the prospects, then they'd spend the money again.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we still got to figure out Yasmani, but
yeah,
I mean, that's this Diamondbacks franchise is a disaster. I've just been watching it too long. I'm souring on the franchise entirely, just generally.
You always have 2001.
Well, I got my 2001, but right around 2004, things started to suck. What's the common denominator there? That's right, new ownership that sucks. There we go. Kind of a disappointment there, but now that they've got this new GM, I think I'm optimistic. I like a lot of the moves he's made. None of them are overly aggressive. This Greinke move, it's about getting rid of a very, very. I mean, it's not like Greinke's value is going higher. That's the thing. That's the thing. I mean, trading him next year, who knows if he's actually like maybe because again, the thing about Greinke, he's a head case. It's not about his stuff falling off the map necessarily. It's more about his mind falling off the map. Is he unhappy? Did a fly land as his guacamole? That's part of it. Actually, I wonder if the guacamole goes with him. That's a little known fact. A lot of people don't know that about Zach Greinke. He's like a huge guacamole avocado fan. So part of the deal when he got signed here in Arizona, and I shit you not, part of the deal included like just all the guacamole he could eat for free. Like, so the Diamondbacks just paid for his guacamole habit.
If he needs that in a contract, how much is he spending on guacamole?
I don't, right? I mean, that's a lot of guacamole. That's why I call him Guac Boy. But yeah, he's I don't know. He's a head case, so that's kind of the thing. I'm happy to just all right, you know.
Yeah.
And how many times like is he ever been like? Do you get this vibe as a fan like, oh, I could approach that guy in a bar, or if I saw him, you know, like after a game, like, hey, Granky, how's it going? You know, good game. He's not. He's not approachable. He's not likable. You know what I mean? Like, he's just like a machine, like a robot that pitches well, which is fine, but you know, as a fan, I want a little something I can get behind, or some human quality that I can root for. And Granky's got none of that, you know. I mean, he's just not exciting in any capacity.
Goldschmidt happened on Twitter. He originally said no to the Greinke trade, but apparently he loves the haul they got now. Like,
it's a good return, yeah, for long term. Of course. Yeah. All right. So I'm glad he at least appreciates that. Okay, Todd. It's good. You're okay. That's
I didn't realize Seth Beer had 25 home runs this year in the minor league.
Yeah.
That's
Oh yeah. Well, and he's not even done yet. But yeah, Seth Beer, I mean, that's a nice replacement for Goldie. I mean, he seems to be able to hit for, you know, and get on base, you know, pretty decent. The question is whether or not he's a long-term, you know, defensive liability, or if you can actually find a position where he can be salvageable, you know. And I think that's obviously first base, especially in the National League. It goes without saying. But yeah, he's always been known as sort of a polished bat that was ready to go almost out of the gates. However, the defense was an issue, and where could he play? You know, I mean, it's
yeah,
tough.
but he's got a lot of time to work on the defense. You know, it's not like he's going to be up in the majors early next year. You know, he's got.
I don't know. I wouldn't mind a September call up. I want to see what he's got. I want to see what some of these pieces have, if they're, you know, like worth the talk.
Yeah, I don't
Ryan,
know. I don't think they. I don't think they have a reason to. D-backs are picking up $6 million of Leak, $24 million of Greinke.
okay, yeah, all right. So you eat $30 million. That's basically eating a year of Greinke total.
Yeah.
All right, so Bryce is saying it would have been nice if we could have traded Goldie for prospects. We couldn't really. I mean, again, we got Ryan chimed in here, which he's right. But you know, nice return with Carson Kelly and Puke.
Yeah,
I wasn't expecting that.
He exceeded my expectations, and Luke Weaver was pitching nice until he got injured.
Yeah, I mean, rehabbing the UCL, I think he should have just gone for the TJ and gotten it done. But at the time, we were a little bit better of a team than maybe we seemed like we were. So,
the Cardinals' big acquisition just came out. They on the Jerko trade. We got Tony Cingrani.
Oof.
World Series now.
Tony Disco. Yeah, there you go. All right. Neon says the Red Sox did nothing.
They did. I was surprised they didn't even get bullpen help.
Yeah, honestly, like, you're just not even going to do anything. Like, you just won a World Series. You're not even going to try to, like, just make a push. I know the Yankees are in the way, but that's like Pedro calling it out and saying, you know, Yankees are my daddy. I mean, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Not one move. Not one freaking move. I don't know, man. I mean, we're still getting a few. Like, we got the Tony Disco just trickled in. Came strolling in, strutting in. What do we got? Is there anything? I'm trying to see if there's any kind of like lingering rumors or like,
The Astros now have 4 of the top 15 starting pitchers by ERA. Wade Miley, Garrett Cole, Zach Greinke, Justin Verlander.
Nice.
So yeah, that would make Aaron Sanchez, because Wade Miley's their fourth, so I guess Aaron Sanchez would be their fifth.
Okay. Oh, it's teeny time in Oakland. Nick Martini got called up. All right.
Yeah, with the Diamondbacks are paying, I expected them to pay a little bit more than that. For what
I did too. I mean, obviously Houston probably has a little bit of money, so that's okay. It's okay. Okay, so in the National League Central, according to Twitter and people on Twitter, the Cubs have done the best within that division.
Oh, definitely. There's no question.
I mean, well, yeah, just in terms of like moves of impact, but you're still kind of like,
I wouldn't say it puts them as definitively the top team in the NL Central, but they are the most improved.
Yeah, it gives them something. Again, Castellanos, Nicky C, or Castellanos, as we like to call him. That's definitely. I mean, it doesn't get much worse than Almora. I mean, I've been thinking about that now for days, and that's an interesting stat. Like last calendar year, worst hitter in all of baseball. Like that's like even your worst bench piece of shit warm body bat. You know what I mean? Like, and then like you got him leading off and hitting fifth or sixth. Something just ain't working there. I hope they just send him down or something. I don't know. I mean, I know the Cubs fans we know have been very frustrated this season. So
any NL Central fan has probably been frustrated this season.
Just overall, yeah. I think maybe it's because the division's just so crowded and so tight, you know, and there's not one team that's clearly better.
Yeah.
There's teams that seem like, again, the Cubs are one of those teams that seem like they should be better, but they're not.
Right.
Obviously, the franchise or the ownership being unwilling to spend money, that's played a role. And then, of course, you know, Madden, that's played a role.
Mm-hmm.
But all the other teams are just kind of right there, just right in. Yeah, nothing to write home about. It's all right. I would say that was. I like that the Diamondbacks were at least part of this trade deadline. That's better than doing nothing. I mean, for the love of God, get out there and make something happen. Stroman, okay, yeah, Stroman to the Red Sox would have been. I mean, I don't know that it would have.
I think
done anything other than
more. I mean, I guess I haven't been following the starters too much. I know Sale struggled a little bit at times this season, but they don't have any backup.
Oh, here's an interesting thought. If they had gone after Jose Dariel Abreu, that probably would have cost them a Chavis. I don't know. I think they're probably content to stick with MC just because the power potential, and you know, he's got that grit like a Dustin Pedroia.
Yeah.
So just seeing if there's anything else out there. So bear with us. Then again, thank you for joining us if you have today. Appreciate it. Hope you're having a good one. Hope your trade deadline was exciting for your team. Certainly was for the Diamondbacks. That's why I say I can't really feel too disappointed about all this. What the heck are we on here? How my camera keeps like cutting out or something? It switches over to your thing, and I don't know. Wiring fault. Whoops.
Internet only cost cash considerations.
Now, is it international money or is it?
Yeah, I don't know. It just says cash considerations.
Okay. So Red's owner just bought a whole bunch of Skyline chili with them. I guess. I don't know. I mean, I'm surprised that was the kind of move that I thought the Diamondbacks should have been doing, you know, with some of these fluff pieces or just players that, I mean, again, not getting rid of an Adam Jones or a Dyson or a Peralta, even though he's, you know, kind of injured right now.
Yeah.
I would have liked to have seen a few of those players just chipped off for cash, you know, like I didn't say shipped off, I said chipped off. You know, you're just kind of cutting the fat. like you said, just cash considerations, a little bit of international money, and then go reinvest that money in the international thing, because this international spending is going to change pretty soon. I think we're looking at the obviousness of an international draft here pretty soon. So
Right.
why not stock up on the tricycle riders while you can? I mean, just go splash cash. That was about the best long-term solution I was thinking of, but
Yeah,
they addressed.
I think my takeaway from this trade deadline is obviously I'm rooting for the Cardinals, but I would love to see the Astros win the World Series. They went out and got Verlander. They went out and Gretzky. They want to win.
Oh yeah, they're more committed than. I mean, I'm surprised honestly that the Dodgers weren't more aggressive as well, because considering they've lost their ticket to the World Series 2 seasons in a row now. Like I realize they are probably the team to beat in the National League. I don't think their road to the World Series is guaranteed by any means, and I certainly don't know if they could get past the Yankees or the Astros.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm
Yeah.
surprised they weren't just like, hey, look, we thought we had this last year. We thought we had it the year before. Fuck that noise. We're going hard to address that this year, right? And I
Mm-hmm.
thought just sending Greinke back to the Dodgers for just basically, I mean, obviously Lux was the pipe dream. Lux would have been attainable early, and now Lux is like the future of the entire franchise, so that's never happening. But like a Dustin May and maybe a handful of pieces. But the return from the Astros is it's delicious. Yep. So I guess the big two moves were Bauer and Greinke.
Yeah.
No real big splash in the terms of bats, and it's it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. I mean, I like what the Diamondbacks did. I don't know if anybody's going to write about who won the deadline, who did the most damage. Again, the Nationals, I like them shoring up their bullpen quite a bit. That's nice. Nice 1, 2, 3 names I got there. So that helps. That should lower the
Yeah.
ERA from
With,
5
with
or whatever.
with the Nationals and Braves both improving their bullpen, and the Phillies not, I'm pretty that puts. I think that means Philly's going to drop out of the race soon.
Yeah, I think so. Seems reasonable. Seems about right. Okay. Well, I think that probably wraps her up. I mean, I don't see anything else new rolling in at the moment.
Nah.
I mean, any of the periphery, any of the minor league players that haven't been named yet, we can always recap it, or you can just look online. But appreciate everybody who did join us for the live stream today. Like I said, I hope your team did well at the trade deadline, and if not, I'm sorry. It's a shame. Cubs fans, you got to be a little bit happy, but you're probably not like doing cartwheels. Diamondbacks fans, we're pretty happy. I think generally, overall, I mean, Leake's having a good year. I don't know how much I like it long term, but and it's not. I don't even think it's that long term, to be honest. But I don't know what Leake's contract is. But again, he pitched for Arizona State, so I don't mind him coming back to Arizona in any capacity. He's essentially a local guy now, so we'll take that. And of course, Zach. That's funny, actually. Think about it. We got rid of Zach and got a Zach, and they're both Zach G. So we really didn't miss a step there. We still have Zach G. I'm cool with that, man. I'm cool with that. All right. Well, Andrew, thank you for joining me. I hope hope you have a good rest of your day.
Yep.
We had a good day here, good little live stream. We'll be doing more. Come by the website soon, fantasysportsaddicts.com. Right now there's nothing there. I took it down, blew it up. I've got the front end aspect of things taken care of, and now I'm working on the back end, all the RSS feeds and all that type of shit, making sure it's clean, tidy, neat, ready to go. I ain't rolling any bullshit out there. FantasySportsAddicts.com will be back with a vengeance. It will still have chat. Doesn't necessarily have to be used. I could always get rid of it. We'll see what happens with that. But there's going to be articles. There's going to be news, videos, podcasts, all that. It's going to look good, function well. And we won't be ashamed of it. And Andrew, you can be found on Twitter at FantasyAid1.
Yep, I just recently started writing again, so you'll see articles posted now and then.
Okay, and those articles are found on
Fantasy
where?
Front Office.
Okay, so pop in the Fantasy Front Office in Google. Go check them out, and of course, Cubby Knoll writes there occasionally, sometimes. So yeah, hit that, and you can get me on Twitter at letter F, letter S, the word double, letter A, F, S, double A. And we'll just close the fantasy sports serenity prayer. Andrew, you want to chime in, or should I do it?
You can do it.
Fantasy gods, please grant me the serenity to set my ideal lineup, courage to add drop aggressively, and the wisdom, just like today, as always, to make good trades. Amen. Diamondbacks did a good job. Reds did some interesting stuff. I mean, that's there's a couple of teams that did fairly well. So thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time. And we're going to do some playoffs things. We're going to do some of our own trade deadline things. Don't forget, in the home leagues, the 3 FSAA leagues, trade deadline is August 10th. That is a little more than a week away. Obviously, it's about 10 days away. And then this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, are the trade deadlines in FFO Dynasty and FNA Dynasty. Get your moves made. Get yourself some playoffs. All right. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time.